Regardless of your age, I want you to embrace strength training. Now, if your son or daughter has not hit puberty yet, we're not putting them under load-bearing exercises to the point that we stunt their growth. We don't want to mess up their growth plates. But we do have to recognize that we're in a sport that pushes a heavy bike around. The bike size is always relevant to the rider themselves. You have to add the velocity. You have to add all the elements of hitting obstacles going fast around the track. And at the epicenter of that is always going to be strength training. Let me elaborate. If I were to challenge you to a drag race and I said that we were going to race a quarter of a mile and you could choose between a 65 or a 450, every one of you would choose the 450. If I asked you why, you would just say because the motorcycle is more powerful. Now I want you to stop and pause for a moment on what you just articulated. How do you go faster? Choose the bike that has more power, but yet strength training is kind of perceived as a taboo thing. There's this misinformation that's floating around that weight training will cause arm pump. Not true. So when you're looking at the idea of where does speed come from, at the root of it is power, then embrace power and make sure that you do it correctly relevant to pushing and pulling a motorcycle. When you, and I want you to challenge yourself right now. Go ahead and stand up and stand on one leg. And what I want you to do is the leg that you've lifted off the ground, I want you to bend it at 90 degrees so your foot is directly behind you. And I want you to focus on something across the room. Now when I count to 3, I want you to close your eyes and see how long you can stand on that one leg before you put the other one down. And before you do so, please be careful, don't tweak your knee. So focus on something on the other side of the room. 3, 2, 1, close your eyes. Now try to not put that other foot down. Notice how you're kind of teeter-tottering back and forth. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes, put your foot down, go ahead and have a seat. Now you ready? We're going to go to science school here. Put on your school cap. Don't check out on me. What you just experienced is a concept known as proprioceptive balance. So when you guys are front wheel happy, you have no doubt. You just tap the rear brake and the front wheel comes down. You level it out. If you guys are all of a sudden nose pitched down, you know to panic, rev, and try to balance it out. Well, when that bike kicks and goes left or that bike kicks and goes right, you have to rely on proprioceptive balance. So when we're looking at strength training, we want to look at the body from 3 different perspectives. The front of the body, the back of the body, the left and the right, and what's going on above and below the belly button. Well, guess what? The motorcycle has the same 3 planes of movement. Left peg, right peg, above and below the seat, what's going on in front and behind the pegs. You probably already know. Everything from your belly button down drives the rear wheel. Everything from the belly button up drives the front wheel. So your strength training needs to integrate with that concept. Regardless of your age, strength training needs to be a part of your program. The bigger the bike, the more strength training becomes important, because power is at the epicenter of speed. Now stop and think about this. If you want to be able to push and pull the bike further, faster, without getting tired, you have to have a foundation of strength. We're going to talk about aerobic function in the next video. But when you're looking at, again, so many people blow off the value of strength. Now, this is where we want you, because you're a member of Supercross U, we want you to have a distinct advantage. There's a right and a wrong way to lift specific to motocross. We need to make sure that you're always incorporating 3 dimensions of movement, because strength, if it's not functional, specific to the 3 dimensions of a motorcycle, the strength actually becomes counterproductive. And this is where we get into the idea of joint mobility. You can get so muscular that the flexibility in the joints aren't able to go through their optimized range of motion. It's going to have a negative impact on your biomechanics. So on one effort, over here, you're trying to get fast, then you go to the gym and you either train incorrectly, which then negatively impacts your biomechanics, or you choose not to go to the gym at all and it has a negative impact on your biomechanics. Again, with you being a member of Supercross U, we want you to have nuggets of knowledge that you can build a foundation and then catapult off of. If you have any questions about strength training, if you need some help putting a strength program together, I'm happy to help. Being a member here of Supercross U, we want to make sure that you guys are on the fast track to the top. If you have any questions, send me an email, contact@coachrobb.com. Thanks again for being a member, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.